Good morning, cyber traders. Happy Wednesday. And tomorrow, big day. Market is closed. Let me make that quick announcement. It is Juneteenth. You know, it's really what really kind of messes thing up is that 4th of July is only 2 weeks away, and that falls on a Friday. So it means everyone's going to be taking off on Thursday on the 3rd. It's a half a day on Thursday. This is going to be a really, really weird week. And you probably already noticed the market is pretty much flat today. Not really that much going on. Obviously, the big news that's going on is the war that's going on in Iran. A lot of stuff going on. I think it's going to get more ugly before it gets worse. I mean, the president told them to cease and desist and surrender, and it looks like they're not. Could we get dragged into this war? I don't know. But you know what? It could affect certain stocks. And trust me, we're going to look at it. One of the big things I do want to point out is I don't know if you've been watching the news at all, but one of our fellow gurus, which a lot of you know, Wiz from the Top Gun Options, was on this morning on Fox Business. And I'm sorry, Fox News. He was talking on this morning. And you obviously you've seen him here all the time. He's a trader. So he was talking about, the strategy that they're talking about. He's a fighter pilot, Top Gun fighter pilot, and pretty cool. It's really cool about not changing subject, but here you have a professional trader, and obviously, we have different careers too, different lives, and you can see how here's someone in the military, and is now becoming a very popular on TV, as now is on our show all the time. But anyway, one of the things he was talking about, which you've probably been seeing, is they're talking about this missile that the B-1 bomber, that stealth bomber drops. This is called a bunker bust. And did everybody hear about it? The bunker bust. So it basically, they want to get to that where that enrichment of that nuclear power, where you can make nuclear weapons. But apparently it's like 800 feet in the ground, and there's only one missile that can get down there. And it's called that bunker bust. So I was just kind of looking up who makes it. It's the first thing I look at. Boeing actually makes it, okay? And then the bunker bust. And then the next thing I was looking at, okay, what does it cost, right? Because the B-1 bomber is like a $2 billion thing. And remember, when whatever breaks, they got to replace it, right? So wasn't really that much. I wasn't really that impressed. It was only about between $1 million or $2 million. It wasn't really that much. And I think they need only 2 of them. But it could be good advertising for Boeing. So I want to keep an eye on it. Obviously, you could see Boeing did really well when President Trump was in Saudi Arabia, and then the stock was at 130. Look at stock was almost up about 100%. They sold a shitload of planes and everything else. Remember, Boeing is just not in the military, building planes. They are in the military business. I didn't know that even Boeing actually made the B-1 bomber. So these are things that you have to start getting educated. But the good thing about you being here at CyberTrading University is we will do the research for you. And I know we have a lot of people that were previous vets that are students in the room, and you guys know also. So this is really right up your alley. Now it's obviously, you could take this to the trading community. So you want to keep an eye on it. But some stocks that we're going to keep a close eye on it. One stock I was disappointed, though. I thought we were going to get a good push. I did get out of it. Thank God I got out of it and do too well. Was Nook. And I thought Nook was going to do okay. But I got out of it. That's that makes the Iron Dome, and obviously never really came back. Good thing you could see it right here. It had that big run up. That was when that military took effect, and stock went over to $16, gapped up. And then I got out the next day. I thought it was going to work out. Remember, these are things that we teach you. Not everything always goes our way. And this is crazy, but we say it all the time. This actually was a really good loss because, even though I lost money on it, look where I ended up going, down to 10. So, listen, we're going to be chasing these stocks, and if we're wrong, we're going to admit it. And, you have to admit when you're wrong, because if you don't, when you admit when you're wrong, this is how you're going to get yourself in trouble. All right. So anyway, a couple of stocks I do want to touch upon because there was some really, really, really good movers yesterday. Apes was off the chart yesterday. Okay. So Apes, I think we sent out an email on it. I would love to hear your feedback if you're a student here at Cybertrading University. But Apes is going to go back on the watch list. This thing was just a great mover. $5 stock all the way up to about $7.50. It was just a very comfortable moving stock. Very easy, great. Finally, when it broke that all-time highs right there, that was the deal breaker of 680. Once it did that, that's where we had that big run up. That was that $7 price range. That's when we had that consolidation after around 10 o'clock and then until 11. And obviously had a big move there. But nice moving stock up right there. That one did well. A couple other ones I want to hit upon before we go through the watch list. We had CERO. Spelled it wrong. CERO. That one also, unbelievable move on that one. Great pharmaceutical stock. If you can see this thing right at 9:30, right out of the gate, $10 to a whopping almost $27. Great move. Great pop-up. Listen, don't tell me why it's down 29%. That's not important. You see, when we run our trading room in the morning, this is the things that we trade. The only bad thing I think we talked about in the class is it was more of a very volatile stock. We were probably given a category 4 or 5 on it. So that one also. A couple other ones I want to touch upon before we go through the watch list. R, B, and E. For some of you missed that one. Great runner-up stock yesterday. Stock ran from $11, even this morning, ran from like 6 up to about 9, ran to a whopping $14. Great day trading stock. Yeah, she's getting crushed right now. But once again, this is the difference between day trading and swing trading. This is what we talk about when it goes into the market where don't worry about what's going on today. Worry about what's going on today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Okay. And tomorrow is today. And RBNE was yesterday. A couple other ones I want to hit upon to try to get these quick. USEG, that one was a good move yesterday. INDO, another nice little move, went from 4 to about 6. Hush, HUSA, another nice little push right there. A lot of energy stocks are moving pretty nice. XTAI, spelled it wrong. XTIA. That one also did really well too. And the EYEN, that one too, at the right at the end of the day. What a nice little pop. So good day yesterday. Kind of shocking. Oh, and Boyle too, Chuck. I was talking about that one too, right? Boyle. So Boyle, I told you this yesterday. Remember I said it's not a day trading stock. It's a swing trading stock. Oil's been going up with this whole thing that's been happening with the war. You probably wanted to, well, I don't trade oil. Listen, we do trade stocks. Stocks do trade in the market that are ETFs that do trade with it. Anyway, that one's doing really great. You can see it's moving up pretty nicely. When that whole thing, catastrophe started, the stock was around 50, which is a pretty big support. We're already at 62. That's a nice, pretty damn move on that stock right there. All right, a couple other stocks I do want to touch upon. So let me get back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA is having this major problem breaking at the 145. So I was this close to jumping back in yesterday. It did break it. I'm seeing those orders out there. Tesla, be very careful. It looks like it's building a Fausto flag on the downside. Palantir holding here, backing off a little bit. Let's see if it consolidates. Archer came back down here. You can see it's at some pretty big support levels around 10. What else we got going on there is brand name stocks. Lockheed Martin, RTX, all doing really well due to the fighting in Iran. Those are doing pretty well. And let's go hop over here. Where is the most popular place to find them? Isn't a big percentage gainer. So APVO, great move, up 120%. Starting to trend down. It's up a lot. It's a pharmaceutical stock. Be very careful of it. We'll put this on the B list. APVO. That one's not bad. Next big stock that's moving up a lot better on this one. I like this one a little bit better. Hold on one second here. I got to check my level 4. LGHL. Good mover. Good trend. LGHL. Nice push. Everything we're looking for. What do we got going on over here? Iceberg orders. Let's go see where they are. Got one over here at 5, just took him out. A little bit over here at 520, but not really the cleanest. But you can see there's been a lot of orders jumping in there. Not bad. Number 2 on the big percentage gainers. LSE, another stock. Volume looks great volume. Nice little push on a downtrend energy stock. LSE, we'll put that on our list. Another one that did great yesterday, the RELI. Like it. Nice push. Still continue the trend on it. RELI. Remember, the second day is always dangerous. First day is not bad. Second day is always got to watch out for. BDRX, nice little push on this one too, but she's kind of flatline. Cheap, nice level 1. Up big, 31 shares. RELI. BDRX. What else we got here? This one's on a downtrend. Scratch, 16%. This one took a big hit yesterday. It's coming up a little bit. Probably scratch on that one. Nothing there I'm familiar with. All right. Losers. Didn't see anything out there. Did anything pop up and get crushed? Well, this one, obviously, being a big runner from yesterday. That pretty much does it there. New York Stock Exchange up 17%. Nice little level 1 stock. A nice petroleum stock. This one's not bad. Keep an eye on the oil stocks. All right. Listen, if U.S. gets involved, look for oil to take off. So, and remember, don't take it personally. You got to look at it. If you're against it, short it. You know what I mean? And let me know how that works out for you. All right, I think that would pretty much got everything there. Not a big list. Brand name stocks are flat. Remember what I told you about swing trades? Swing trades are very difficult in the summertime, okay? Today is going to be a very tricky day, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we get the Fed announcement today. We'll see what's going to happen with that. See if we get some, what news he comes out with. Tomorrow, the stock market's closed. It is going to be the first day of summer starting tomorrow. Obviously, that's not true. But for us in New York, it is because it's going to be a heat wave. We've been dealing with rain for over 7 miserable weeks. Now you know why people commit to the high suicide rates in Seattle being gray all day. New York is just, my God, it is miserable. My tomatoes are not growing. My grass is like growing like 10 feet high. It's good. But this weekend, hopefully, we're going to get some relief. I can finally test out my new jet ski and new boat. I'm looking so excited about it. And I think a lot of people here in New York are going to be leaving, going into the Hamptons. I said that yesterday, so I'll be really, really careful trading going into the day. It's been a great day trade, swing trade. Be very careful, okay? So tomorrow the market's closed. We'll be back here on Friday. But today, don't forget, we have a podcast at 11, and we have our open house. Usually we do it on Thursday. We're going to do it today because the market is closed tomorrow. So we'll see you back in a little bit. We're going to post that link up for everyone there to watch. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back. Anything I'm missing? And then we'll be back. Like I said, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. So don't go anywhere. All right, guys. Good luck, everyone. Happy trading. We'll be right back.
All right, folks, market just opened up. I think Fausto's a bit late here. We'll get him on in just a second. I see him playing on his phone there. So we'll get him on here in just a moment. Great to see all of us back on YouTube. Just a couple minutes late here. Just waiting on him and we're good to go. All right. So, I'll tell you what, we normally stay true to our watch list to begin here. You got like the app stock, APPS, Rely, LGHL. But I'll tell you what, this KWE, Tim, you called this out here on the move and this thing just took off.
Yeah, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we're getting a nice little pop in certain stocks. I'll tell you that APPS was phenomenal yesterday, Josh. That was great.
Yeah, I did not think it would make the type of move that it ended up making. It was just off of earnings. That was it. So pretty much like stocks will make like a 10%, 20% move at times off earnings. This was 60. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would be very careful just today, just in general. Like I said, look at some of the stocks are up and now also negative all of a sudden. You're going to get a lot of shakes going on right now. That's all. So be really, really careful on certain stocks. I'm going to keep shopping while you're talking. I'll be shopping. If I see something, I'll say something. We forgot to mention Oscar yesterday. We're getting a big pop in it right now all of a sudden.
Yeah, that Oscar, there we go. From yesterday, I was all over that and just maybe right place, wrong time. It held support well, just never really made that higher high. And there we go, right off 1650.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is with this stock, we talked about it yesterday, like just point blank, both of us were like, yeah, it's, the long-term chart's not great.
No, it's not.
So there could be room to jump in on this as a swing trade over time. It's just doing well this morning.
Got a halt on this MTR already, but I don't know. Weird stock. Got a halt in KWE. That thing just took off, but probably category
Yeah, called
5.
that out just at first.
Yeah.
Old students there, Fausto. I want to stay true to our watch list at first, but again, with the Oscar moving and the KWE, I do like the Rely as long as that can make a higher high and pop back up soon. It's trying to build support, I feel.
Yeah, science. What changes why I know we was like try to keep it on our watch list sometimes, but sometimes out of nowhere, just some of these orders they like last minute and they just show up out of nowhere.
I'll tell you what, though, as a trader, I'm not a big fan of impromptu / last minute. I'd rather have time to prep up my entry, right? Like for the APVO that's moving, there could be a nice entry on this coming up. Put that on our watch list there as well. Rich, turn over to that. It's looking really good. APVO. Yeah, I mean, and still, it's only 9:34. You want to wait the first 3 to 5 minutes, irregardless, but might be a better move ahead on this, perhaps. Needs to hold over resistance there as support. If you can't do that, then scrap it. Yeah, so we got this holiday tomorrow, Juneteenth. So, and actually, even before that, Fausto, I know you brought it up earlier. We got a podcast today. Then we actually have our open house webinar today, where we normally have it on Thursday. But of course, we got holiday tomorrow, where it's nice up in the Northeast by you. So you probably have a lot of people taking off on Friday, extended to a 4-day weekend, right?
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Because some people probably can take off Monday. Monday's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful day. So it's been a really ugly with the weather.
Be mindful for a pullback here on this EPVO. If it can't stay over 670, 675, then it's gone. All right, so we're 935 right now. So, I mean, I had some stocks in my side list, but I wanted to stay true to what we had. Nothing looking too great. Oscar was on my side list to start, so that we're featuring. AMD pullback, Archer pullback, Rigetti, apps. ASTS is like kind of holding here for a little bit. Maybe there's a case for that to make a new move later on at some point.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of push. I have it on my level 4. No, I don't. I took it off. REL. Sometimes, like I said, I get so many tabs on it that I have to delete certain I know you like to keep the tabs over and over and over again, step, 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 but wow, again, a lot of green balls, a lot of orders coming in.
Oh, you know what happened on the Oscars? So I'm sure Rich pointed this out right away just in the chat, just seeing it firsthand on my book map page. You have this 104,000 share buyer that popped up at 1630 on the Oscar trade, OCSR. Post that here inside our live trading room just for our members here.
Our cat's moving
See if
after
that
getting
is over.
crushed yesterday. We can get it. You know what? That could be a good bounce.
Which one?
Our cat. It's getting a little push this morning. It got destroyed yesterday.
Yeah, it did. What was the news out on it again? I think it may have had to have done with the direct offering of shares. It's like a common stock, direct stock offering. So that's like not the worst news of all time. There if the street's still bullish on the stock, then you'll see that recovery. I was looking at a trade yesterday. It just never broke resistance. NVTS, a little pop and drop just this morning and pulling back. You don't want to have to deal with stocks like that. Could have had an opportunity, I guess, on this one trade. I should have been more prompt to look at it. QUBT, one of the quantum trades. Just shot up a little bit off of $20. Maybe Rigetti can go with it, possibly. RGTI, QBTS, maybe. Again, keep in mind we got the Fed meeting today too. We got all sorts of shit happening.
When's it coming out? Is he going to make an announcement at 2:15, or is this going to be just a?
So 2 o'clock they make the announcement, and from what I actually heard, that they're looking to leave the rates unchanged. So I thought that they were going to lower them. That's what the street wants. That's what Trump wants. Obviously, I'm hearing that they're going to leave them unchanged again. So we'll see how the market reacts. But the thing is, though, is you're likely going to say there, Powell at 2:30. You got Powell speaking at 2:30, where he leaves remarks, and God knows what he'll say.
TSLL is making a pop. It was a slingshot on that.
There you go, Joyce with a nice catch there on the apps trade there. She got in from 324 out at 339. Joyce, which stock was that? The apps, or was that APVO maybe? I get my stocks mixed up 19 times a day. Gabriel, look at you, man. Gabriel, a nice trade also there on the APVO there. On the Rely there, Joyce. I was like trying to do my mental math. Yeah, on a Rely, that is. Nice job from Joyce. She got in from 324 out at 339, one of her longtime diamond students with us. And see if it could try and go higher later on, but that was a good exit.
It's getting close to that resistance level at 350. Is 11,000 shares out there.
Yeah, QUBT, I could have, should have, would have. You can't really think too much on that. An Oscar, unless if I swing traded yesterday, I'm not holding pre-market trades into the open, so it just popped right out the gate. There's not much you could do on that.
ARQ
Sizing up Rigetti. I'm not getting my signal yet on it though, but I mean maybe there's a chance that goes higher with QUBT.
Rigetti?
It's so speculative. It doesn't look great. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah,
Maybe that does go up over time here.
I'm not a fan of it right now. You can see, even on long-term charts, got big support levels right here around 1150. I mean, be honest with you, Josh, I'm sitting in so much cash right now.
Oh yeah, this market stinks.
I gotta have a lot of shit.
This market stinks. I'm just trying to come up with opportunity here. You
TSLL.
hear it in my voice how I phrase things. I'm like, yeah, I'm not liking a lot of things. I'm getting a signal for Archer, but it's not going anywhere. There's Nothing to that. No surprise that the apps trade dropped off there. APPS that tanked. That could have been a little short, but for as much as that moved up yesterday. No signal yet on our
TSLL, like Tesla, was building, which was getting me nervous. A Fausto flag on the bottom. If you look at the long-term chart, the last like week and a half, after getting that nice little pop on that. So I don't know if it's see if it recovers here, but I don't know.
So you're going to be talking a little bit about just obviously we're not like geopolitical, scientists out there. We don't know too much of everything, but we know how it affects the market. And from your experience, you know how war has affected the market historically. So that's something you'll be talking about in the open house later on today, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like it's going to be a touchy subject for certain people. But listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to, the reality is, you gotta. It's the next catastrophe is happening. Remember, catastrophes make opportunities. You don't get these catastrophes, it's not going to work out for you.
Not much I am liking here. Yeah, I see Tesla popped right out the gate, so maybe there's something to that. I haven't jumped into anything yet. The Oscar's obviously going a little higher right now, so that's been doing great. We've been calling that out from yesterday, but yeah, Tesla's a nice move so far. TSLL.
It's moving aside. It's starting to pop up again. Nice little shake on it. Just stopped right now. Looks like it's breaking out again. Is it taking out a big iceberg order? It's testing one right now. Oh yeah, not really that big, but there's a little bit more at 325. It's taking people out. A lot of greens, bulls coming in.
KWE trade reopened up a couple minutes ago. It's flying up and down all over the place here. That's more of a category 5 now all of a sudden. Huge bars. Coming off the halt, you're looking at a $1.90 candle. It's like a Tesla candle. ASTS has been crawling up a little bit here since I'd called it out. I just didn't take any action on it. It's just moving up a little bit towards 42. It's honestly better to not take action than to take action today, just with the Fed meeting again, the holiday tomorrow, people extending the holiday likely into Friday and Monday, maybe. Depends how good of a month you've had so far.
Still pushing. That KWE is ugly. Was that
Yeah,
category?
it's tougher to just jump into. Zoom in on the daily chart there, Rich. Just want to take a look because that is, it's not a good swing trade. Definitely a good day trade though. It broke above a nice little support for a little while there, right around 1070-ish. Maybe it can pull back and hold over there. Let's see what else we got. Tesla's trying to move higher a little bit.
Still pushing. Is it getting past that iceberg? It's going to back off a little bit right now, but let's see if it consolidates.
Barbara in and out on the KWE trade right there. That's a quick exit, rightfully so, just because that thing is like category 5. For the Oscar trade, this will actually make things interesting. That order on the bid got pulled. I think that Rich may have commented on that just beforehand, but that big iceberg I'd mentioned earlier at 1630, they pulled their order. about 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. So Chuck calling out the HUSA. Take a look at those energy trades, Rich, like the oil energy stocks. I don't know what you want to call them, but INDO and the USEG was the more tradable of them. Just, ooh, nice move there. Yeah. There we go. 12K order on the bid at 230, 231. Here we go. This has been a big talking point as far as like whenever there's tension going on, like let's just say Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran. I didn't want to just say the Middle East, but at least not in the U.S. Well, that's where you see a lot of these energy stocks look to make a move here. INDO, HUSA, USEG, kind of interesting. Not good swing trades, but they make for great day trades, though. You got Lumo here joining us on YouTube. Good morning to you, Lumo. What do those category mean to you guys? So that's a great question.
That's a great question.
We categorize stocks based on volatility. That's basically what I'll say here. We teach that in our phase 1 stock course, more of our introductory classes as far as scanning the market, building up your watch list. Everyone in our trading room has different levels of experience, different account sizes. So, they're looking at their own criteria, like price, spread, volatility. We wouldn't want a brand new trader to be jumping into something that's too wild, too chaotic if they don't know how to manage it. So USEG is probably more of a category 2, maybe even a 3 if it gets crazy, but it's got a good spread. It's got a really good order book. That's the selling part. Or that's the selling point.
Tesla's still going higher. It looks like it's going to probably test the 325. So TSLL looking pretty good here. Nice little move so far.
I'm happy I held off on Rigetti right there. I didn't get my signal and it just crashed. Archer is teetering. I'm not fully sold on it yet, though. I don't know. Is market trying to make a small little bounce? Nothing, but it's like I see it pushing up a little bit. Better that than down. And again, who knows? Because you're playing musical chairs at 2 o'clock when the Fed makes their decision. The Jobby trade's doing a little bit better than Archer right now. I could have / should have been focused on that maybe. That'll happen to you every now and then where you'll like plan out your morning, choose a couple stocks you really like, and they just don't produce. They don't make a move for you, do anything for you to take an entry. And you're kind of sitting there not wasting your time, but there's just other stocks moving better. So it happens. Trader's nature.
Got a bunch of TSSL 13 calls yesterday holding. Oh, good way to go, Lawrence. There you go. There's this one stock I just found. I don't know if it's really going to be moving. GNW, it's got a nice spread. 1.7 million shares, up 9%. It's making a HOD, actually a yearly high, actually. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's a nice chart, nice order book. Like every now and then you'll get a stock that pops up that like fits everything. You're like, where'd that come from? We haven't really traded that recently. Like TMC, Rich had just mentioned, that was one that we been doing pretty well on of recent, but it kind of just popped up out of the blue. I'm like, wow, it's a really good stock. So same thing likely for that GNW. Well, you know what? I don't know if this is going to reflect directly here. So this company works with life insurance, but also mortgage insurance. And I'm just shooting from the hip here on this, Fausto, because I looked it up on AI on ChatGPT beforehand.
Yep.
But I was thinking, I'm like, well, if Powell gets replaced, if he resigns, if he just finishes his term and gets swapped out, how will that affect the markets? And what it told me was a lot of real estate stocks would do well, like with the
Really?
mortgages,
Why is
whatever,
that?
with interest rates. You
Because
know,
the interest rates?
yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just doing a stupid 2 plus 2 here. This is likely, shooting here, but what if this company has to do with that and someone knows something with Powell maybe getting replaced in due time and they're trying to jump in on stocks like this early? Who knows? It's a good chart.
Well, interest rates are pretty high, you know. Oracle's going up a little bit again.
It's total speculation. Trust me, especially with you, Fausto, like, we say things in a certain manner. When we're confident with saying something, when we're just being a bit speculative. It might be just speculative here, but
try to be a little conservative here and there, but you got to be a little more conservative during. But yeah, you got to be speculative. Some certain ones are okay. Well, what's this one doing again? Looking around. Bill says I don't think Powell's going anywhere till 2026. His term ends.
Jody's the much better move.
Yeah,
I think
Marvel's moving up pretty
Jody
nice,
and
but it's a
Archer.
pretty big. It's a pretty volatile stock.
Market's inching up a little bit, so we'll take it while we can. Oscar finally pulling back down a bit. It was a little bit after that order got pulled.
Oscar's got a lot of resistance levels around it. Looking at the chart on 17. I
I
mean, we
like
had a
the
good,
thought of
good.
it as a swing trade only because it's like Trump backed, like with Kushner. I don't like the chart though, so I'm patiently gonna wait. Just probably slip past my head for a little while, and I'll come back to it.
What's on my watch list and keeping a close eye on? It's been hovering here for a while. Your favorite stock, ASTS.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, it's an ugly stock right now trading, but like never really came down too much. I don't know if it's building the Fausto flag. I like to see it back off a little bit, maybe get a breakout.
Yeah, it's been a very good chart. Just of course, we've been saying it's not a category one. It's definitely probably more of a 3 to 4. The order book can open up, a lot more than what it's doing here even. So right now it's good. It's moving well. Oh, shit. Let's see here if this makes a move. Checking to see if we can get a breakout on the stock. NVTS. It pulled back a lot from early this week, and it's trying to make a push above $7. I was looking for this move yesterday and just never got it. I was thinking like maybe not.
It's going back up again. I forgot to mention this one too this morning. Reddit. Big pop on that thing. That thing bounced $10 today. Almost got to yesterday's highs at 145 and came all the way back down to 1. That thing's pretty volatile, but weird news that came out on it that made it run up so much.
What was the news?
I don't know, something about their new AI program with their algorithm that they're doing.
Gotcha.
It's funny. If you ever do a search on ChatGTP, like ask a certain question, it actually does search AI. It does search Reddit. If
Oh
you
yeah,
ask
definitely. There's different versions of ChatGPT in like the website. So there's one called like mini/high, I think it's called. It's like high resolution deep thinking. So it'll take time to like look shit up for real. It'll take like 30 seconds longer than it normally
some of
does.
these longer than that. I think I know what you're talking about. Sometimes it
Yeah.
takes like 15 minutes.
Oh, sometimes it could depend if you're like doing a cool or like a big prompt. Uh, Finally, Archer's trying to make a move, but it's not much. It's just trying to inch up with the jobby trade. I'll take 10 cents even. Shoot.
Yeah, I mean, at these prices, Archer's at a pretty good support level.
Was it swing
I
trade?
mean, I own it. I own it at 1050 still.
Has the gap to fill. That actually attracts me from, what was that, Thursday into Friday last week? I should like that. Maybe I do hold on to this thing for a small bit. I just normally on a day like today, just you want to play good, like you say, good defense, take the nickels and dimes. I feel NVTS should have popped already, and the longer it doesn't, you just can't trust it.
You scratch Oscar. Looks like it's done.
Yeah, for right now, it's done. It pulled back hard. After we were saying, after that order got pulled from the order book, that bid.
Bill, you're also in Archer around the same price? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good price. I mean, like, from where it started.
Back to that GNW trade that you just shouted out before. It's still holding here pretty well.
APVO is trying to make a little bit of a move again. That thing was volatile, though.
Yeah, a lot of things this morning. Again, just in channels, not making those big, larger, reactions that you want to see. You set it on NVTS, like, it was a good chart for a moment and breaking above resistance, but a 30-second rule, if it's not getting the job done. I regret not looking at Jobby this morning, but whatever. It happens. I wonder how far the apps trade will pull back down to. I'm not going to catch a falling knife on it, but broke out well yesterday. Pulling back today. I wonder if we'll get a bounce later on.
Yeah, like apps, that was a hell of a move yesterday, but like probably it'll test the support levels, but like which is right around that 7, it looks like, from yesterday. It looks like it did test and it did bounce up there. The thing you got to remember, like for some of you new people here, these big runners that we trade, they make their big runs, and if they make a big run, that's why you got to be on top of it. 2 days usually the day. Very rarely third, but you could see that they end up whatever's in the big gainer is going to show up in the big losers. So that's why you got to be very, very close, and you got to watch them. Oh, guess what's on the big losers list? Talking about a big winner, MULN.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. We've done so well on that as a day trade. It's back down to $1.43, huh?
I think that probably holds the record of the most splits ever in history that I've ever seen.
How many was it again?
Huh?
How many was it again?
I can't even count. I mean, my long-term chart can't even calculate all the numbers. Yours doesn't. Mine doesn't. I mean, mine from the beginning of this year shows me 850,000,
Oh,
and
and
that's not factoring splits.
Yeah. That's funny. Pretty much same here. Yep. So there had to have been like 1 for 1,000 reverse split or something. Again, quick reminder, because we always like to make sure everyone's just in the know, in the loop. We've been talking about it from this morning, but tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. Market's closed, and we are closed, of course. We'll be back, obviously, on Friday. But, just, hey, that's why things are a bit slow this morning. You got the Fed meeting also coming up today. We got a workshop coming up later on today as well. We got a podcast this morning too. We got a busy day here at CTU. Bill on hood swing, good consolidation for the past 2 weeks and a bit of a Fausto flag. Yeah, you know that we've been a big fan of hood for a long time, and you're right. It's just kind of consolidating there for the last 5 or 10 candles on the daily chart, that is. Two trades this morning. I went break even on one, the NVTS, which I just mentioned there, and I am waiting out on Archer, so I could have taken 10 pennies there, but just I'm here all day, right? So I'm not really in a rush, but it's okay if a few things slip past you and you go par on the hole, like we talked about earlier this week in Golfland. Huh. On the apps trade right now, there's a new 50,000 share buyer that just popped up pretty much right below $7. Actually, a larger order than what was out there earlier this morning. So that's good.
Yeah, I see that. Is it still going back up? Getting a little shake over here on Tesla, on the TSLL.
Again, SPY is doing good actually this last candle. I'm trying to wick back up a little bit, but as long as it holds, we'll take it. Check out, got a couple stocks, I guess, making some sort of short squeeze. Let's see how far it lasts. You remember Wolf,
Oh
WOLF?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this thing is trying to go back up a little bit right now, but it got demolished from like a couple months back here. Just turn the weekly into a daily there, Rich, and I think that you'll see like a big gap. Yeah, look at that gap.
You know what's nice about Wolf? It looks like it's at a big support level and might get a push here. $1.18. What's level 4 look like?
There's a shot for this one, but this is where, like, for a stock that's doing a short squeeze, when the shorts stop covering, it'll come right back down. Trying to get one more push here, a new HOD on the SPY, at least. Needs to at least break above the 5 o'clock high from pre-market hours, but new regular session HOD for the SPY.
It looks like it's doing a shake right here, Josh.
Which one?
The Wolf.
Yeah, it's holding at least. I mean, I like the stock because it has a good order book. It's going up a little bit here. If it wants to get really crazy, there's a gap to fill. Oh, Bell, nice job on TSLL. Lawrence getting out on his calls just a moment ago. I did see that. Bell getting out on TSLL, her trade from 1220. Cool. Yeah, honestly, Clarence, there's like an ETF for nearly everything. I don't want to say nearly everything, but at least the larger cap companies. Got a little pop on this Wolf. It's 10:05 in the morning. We got time. We got a little bit more time until reversal hour, perhaps, and let's just make a better squeeze.
There it goes. Here we go. Push. See, told you.
Yep, it's looking good here.
Yep. Hope everyone got a little piece of it, but you don't need too much. Just a little. Nice little pop on it.
Rich pointing out that you got iceberg orders at 155 and at 160. I'll tell you what, I just saw something on the matrix for about 150,000, Rich. So
Yeah,
it might be through a different order book. Yeah, there might be more volume through a different ECN or order book. Normally, as a 50-cent level, you should have your focus on that more than anything. So even if there's something at 155, 160, always look on the matrix. Look on our matrix screen there. Look on NASDAQ Book Viewer. Look on if you got interactive brokers. We talked about this in class this week. Michael calling out run over 6. Yeah, that thing's also had a couple gaps. Speaking of, it's a good shout from Mike here. Definitely, it's worth our time. Appreciate it, and hopefully, there's a lot more to it from here. It's been a good trade, up and down. Been a good long, good short. Much better short than long term, but a couple of good short squeezes on this too. Archer's like just crawling up right now, and I'll take it because I was looking for a move up on it. Just it's not really doing much. That happens at my trading view screen here. It's trying at least, I guess, Archer. If it wants to pop, I would love to see it. Kind of pessimistic on it, just because, again, normally you figure market's going to wait until 2 o'clock for Powell, but maybe someone knows something ahead of time. The SPY is still going up a little bit here. My NVTS is trying to go back up now on that since I took my break even at first on it. Wolf trade came back down a bit. See if it can put me one more push back up to 150.
We have that iceberg order sitting there at like 160, 170. This key W got halt on a downside. What's this stock? This one's starting to move from somewhere. MRIN. This one just made the top 5 list on the big percentage gainers.
Just be a little careful even around these prices for this stock. Rich, what was the open on that giant green candle on the daily chart? Yeah, that's the open there. 116, 119. Damn. Yeah, NVTS back down to 703, 702. Started off good just before. You know what? Right as it happened, I got out. I just took my money in Archer. Took 11 cents. I'm happy with it, but
It's not really doing anything.
Not a lot's doing anything.
Not a
That's the
lot.
key.
Not a lot.
So just take it while you can. And
Like I said, it's big holiday tomorrow. A lot of people are going to be checking out. Nickels and dimes day. I mean, like everything else. Look at. I said this yesterday, and same thing happened today. Look what happened with Tesla. Right. The reason I'm bringing it up because that had a really nice move. It's like the first 30 minutes, and then it's like how we go to 10 to 10:30. It's like 10 to 10. I mean, from 9:30 to 10. It's not 9:30 to 10:30 anymore. Usually the first 30 minutes, and then 10:30. When smoke clears, any news and things start popping. So it's like you got to hit it. You got to hit it earlier, which is not really what we're trained to do. It's got to be a little more aggressive, but that's the summertime. Oscar tried to go back up again. You know what I mean? Like came back down pretty hard, back right off.
yeah. And there hasn't been a new order that showed up like the one that we had just earlier at 1630. It's like 105,000. I don't know if this wolf is trying to make another move. I don't trust it after that shakedown, but it's like trying to inch back up. Still over the VWAP price. So. Oh, new order on the bid just popped up for Archer.
Oh yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah, 112,000. Might jump back in.
See if anything is going to break out.
I'll say Oscar is doing pretty damn good right here. It did bounce so nice. Just there's not much volume on the bid, so I don't really trust it in terms of a continuation here. The more it could hold over 17 as support, then I think that we'll see it. But
This is pushing up pretty nicely. Slow, but
yeah, your GNW's been rocking this whole morning.
yeah, absolutely. Hasn't stopped. It's just a little bit of shake here at 955, held pretty strong at 760. I mean, it's not a big mover, but
I'm just thinking this might have to do with like the interest rates possibly being lowered, or I was talking about Powell, but it might just be the rates and he stays. But
I
we'll
mean, it
see.
had a big iceberg order. I'm looking at level 4 right now at like is that 760? Yeah, it took him out. 760, just on the 760. And ever since then, it's really been going up. No real big orders out there. Nvidia getting back to that. $145 again.
Ooh, ASTS had a nice pop just now. It hasn't broken the high just yet, but it looks like it's about to. I am getting teased by Oscar here at this price for 17 for a possible breakout.
You getting teased on that? I'm getting teased on Nvidia. I mean, I just could feel it. It wants to break it. You know what I mean? But like, there's just so much refreshing going on, and it's just like really the worst time to kind of like chase a stock in the summertime. But like, I don't know. Like the only
There's
game
a
in
lot
town.
going
Okay. Oh, we
on.
took
I
him
mean,
out. Ooh,
regardless
we
of
took
the
him out.
politics and all of it, you got all these like sectors that are being like hyped up recently with quantum, the AI, self-driving. So even just with news on those sectors coming out, we don't want to chase, right? But it's just to say that there's always opportunity out there.
So you can see it does a slingshot here.
Watching Oscar here, and my hands are on my water bottle, so just waiting to see what happens off the 17. Archer, see if that can make one more push. Been in on this NVTS stock, Fausto, since like 15 minutes ago. It's like just inching up. I got my stop set break even. So like, I'm
Good.
already taken care of. But you're just like looking at this thing like, dude, just freaking break out already. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm in other stocks too, but just that one trade that just won't budge and it just looks like it's about to. You're just like blowing on it based like
I'm telling you, it's
ASTS is an easier stock for that to happen with because the order book's a bit thinner, but you want something like that.
this thing is such a tease.
Stuck this whole morning, and you know it going into the day, but you just gotta kind of deal with it.
Market is doing
Yeah,
pretty
Chuck,
well,
that
above
ASTS has been
190.
treating you pretty nicely, I'm sure.
What's that?
Oh, to Chuck, just one of our students just in our chat saying ASTS breaking out.
Oh, well,
I'm sure it's been taking care of him pretty nicely.
there's a slingshot, and Nvidia is coming back down, crashing. Yeah, ASTS. Did it make that new high? What's the high? 42.75. Tell you the hell of a run from yesterday's lows, 639 to 42.
Yeah, it was a pretty good move. And even if you're able to get 50, 70 cents out of that, that's a nice trade.
Looks like
Trade.
it's breaking it.
Yeah, it's trying here.
No, it did. It broke it.
You're talking about ASTS or?
Yep, ASTS.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
I just missed it there when I was looking at the screen.
Got a ladder effect that's going all the way up to like close to like 44.
There we go. There's the break over $43 now. I could see 50 on this over time. It's a
Is there a short squeeze
psychological
on it?
level. It's not as far away from it from when it was trading at $30 a week ago, but it's more realistic. Oscar's trying over 17 again. Let's see. Is he going to try and make this better move?
43.20. Look at this bad boy go. Buyer showed up. He pulled. I don't know if he's laddering. Damn, that was a hell of a pop right there. Consolidating right around the 41.50 and boom, 43.20. Don't want to chase it here though.
I don't want to say this is easier to trade because it has a thinner order book, but if you're looking for like a quicker pop, you better make sure you set your stop and know where you're entering from. But it makes it easier when there isn't like 20,000 shares at each price. NVTS here again, 6-cent profit. Not going anywhere. New seller just popped up on it too. Chuck, nice trade from him on that ASTS. You got Chuck Z and you got Chuck V. Joked around yesterday. I said I'm waiting for Chuck X to come in. You got Chuck V, the 42.53 out at 43.08. There you go. Like we just said, it's good for 50 cents, good for 70 cents, or even more if you could ride it. But
okay, here comes the video taking off. I just averaged up on it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good now. It looks over 145 there.
Well, like if you go back and you watched, if everyone here, even new trial members, I mean, on YouTube, I even got some shorts on it, Instagram, but watch the video I just did on Tesla. It actually got a lot of views on Instagram too, and on YouTube. Actually, all of them. And I keep talking about it. And if you watch the ending of the video, I kept telling everybody, this was the alarm you have to worry about. There was this million share seller out there at 145. He just wasn't going to let it go. And eventually he got executed. That's a lot of shares. He's been there for a long time. I'm talking like months. And eventually took him out. You know what I mean? So that's not that was a very tall order to get through. And if you scroll out further, you'll see the next biggest significant seller out there is at 150, and there's that 3 million share out order out there. So you're not talking pocket change. It's like $250 million. Not
if it's
including
that
everything.
easy to see, then it just makes it that easy for you to know where to take the trade from or know where to sell at. And that's where I say in class, and like you do it too, just even if we start in phase one, it's your quote, but keep it super simple. Like if it just smacks you upside the head, you see that giant orange line on the book map, you see a 6-digit number on NASDAQ book viewer, like odds are it's gonna be a pretty freaking big order, right?
Yeah, and Rich just posted a link right there. So if everybody could if you guys, when we're done in about another 5 more minutes, make sure you watch that video and leave a comment, like it, share it. Always helps us out. You know what I mean? Like if we're gonna make the videos for you, go out there and at least give us a little credit to make that video by liking it and leave a comment. And would even help us more if you share it too. More views out there, but it's important because there's a lot of people out there. Even like in your situation, everyone's like, oh, everyone loses money doing this. But you know what? There's a reason why people are losing money. By the way, ASTS might pop again. It's consolidating here.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, hey, we're going to be back on coming up top of the hour, 11 o'clock for our podcast. And then after that, you got an open house at noon, right?
Yep. So we got open house at 12, and then we got the podcast at 11.
I want to give a quick shout out here to Anne, one of our new members joining us here. She's been enjoying us here just from the afternoon yesterday. And she took her first trade with us on the APVO. She sold it at 9.10. Just baby steps, she said. So congratulations there, Anne. Very nice.
Yeah. But Anne, like I told you in the event that you came in, please, I know we're gonna eventually have a conversation, but don't buy anything. You're only supposed to be here to watch. Okay, you're supposed to see if other people how they think for themselves and how they trade. Remember, we don't tell you what to buy. We teach you how to think, and because you have to hit the button at the end of the day.
Now, the reason we say that, of course, is just because like we don't want you to lose money, right? We're happy that you made money, most importantly, but we don't want you to lose it because it's very easy to lose in this market, let alone the stocks that we are calling out. They're fast moving. If you're not following the cyber clock, as well, and you might get caught slipping. So, definitely once you go through our classes, you'll have a really good ability to pick things up even more than what you're doing now. So it definitely looks like you're off on the right foot though.
TMC's moving again. That was another big move from yesterday.
Yeah, that's been a great stock. It's a metal company, so I guess metal's moving up nicely recently, and this has a great spread, good order book. Been on top of TMC just since this morning. I know Rich just made a post right there, even in prior to 9 o'clock.
It's nice. TMC has some really, really nice orders out there that got filled. which is a very good sign. So obviously something's up with that stock. But there's a big iceberg order at 7, got filled. Then he showed up at 7:10. Big iceberg order got filled. Someone just tried to put a bid out there at 7, canceled it. I don't see anybody out there selling it. It's been on a hell of.
I'm happy with something I just did here, Fausto, but you know how we just talked about that tease? You're like, oh, come on, just pop already, blow on, it's going to pop. The NVTS just inched up finally. It's like, well, you know what? I took my money and ran just earlier, but as long as you put your money to good use, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Oscar, I was looking at just before on myself, and it's pushing up pretty nicely here. New HOD on Oscar, and I'm not in on ASTS, but you could have jumped in on ASTS right there too. Same thing.
Yeah, ASTS looks really, really strong. Really strong.
NVIDIA, like, hey, sometimes we're calling out different things, but like sometimes I'll hear you say something, immediately I jump in. Sometimes same thing with you. So there's always other opportunities. Just something pops after you get out. Don't beat yourself up. Just move on to something different.
And with that said, we're going to move on something different, which is going to be the podcast going to come up in 30 minutes. And then an hour, we're going to be live doing our open house and teach you a little bit more about level 4 and level 3 and talk about the war and see what happens with the Fed rate. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll still be here all day. Me and Josh are going to get off the mic and Rich, and we'll be back in about 30 minutes. And we'll be broadcasting live on YouTube. So don't forget, make sure you log in and watch it. It's going to be a very interesting one. Jared Davis we're going to have on, which we're going to look forward. And I'm sorry about yesterday, but the person we had yesterday, Randy, really had technical issues with his computer. So we're going to have him back. I know you guys are looking forward to that one. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, everyone.
And real quick, if you're a student inside our live trading room, we're going to post the link for you. So just go right there to that link. You'll be good for YouTube coming up, folks. But again, I know Fausto just jumped off. We'll be good to go coming up here.